My girlfriend said she needed space. I gave her a whole galaxy. When she said it, I thought she meant she wanted a few days alone. We'd been together for almost 3 years, lived in a small apartment in Portland, shared a cat named Luna, and had the kind of routine that felt like forever. She'd been quieter lately, eyes tired, voice distant. "I just need some space," she said one night, her hands shaking slightly as she folded laundry. "It's not you. I just feel lost." I nodded, pretending to understand. I didn't want to suffocate her, so I told her to take all the time she needed. The next morning, I packed a small bag and left. I drove 6 hours to the coast and rented a tiny cabin by the water. No calls, no texts. Just quiet. I figured a week or two apart would make her miss me, would make her realize I wasn't the problem, that we just needed a reset. I spent nights watching the stars and writing her unsent letters. I told myself giving her space was love. That patience would bring her back. But when I came home 3 weeks later, the space I gave her had turned into a void. Half the closet was empty. Luna's toys were gone. So was the framed photo from our first trip to Seattle. On the counter sat her apartment key, a folded note, and the faint smell of her vanilla perfume. The note was short. "I'm sorry. I didn't need space from the world. I needed space from us." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was all I could do before breaking. She'd always said I was too patient, too understanding. Maybe she mistook my calm for indifference. Maybe I mistook her silence for peace. I wanted to be her safe place, but I'd turned into her escape route. Weeks passed, and I kept expecting her to text, to say she made a mistake, to ask how Luna was. But silence became its own language. I deleted her photos, then re-downloaded them. I'd scroll through our old texts and stop at the one where she said, "You're my home." It hurt realizing home was temporary. I started walking at night. Same streets we used to take after dinner. Same coffee shop where she'd order too many pastries. The barista stopped asking where she was. That's when it sank in. I hadn't given her space. I'd given her freedom. Months later, I saw her at a bookstore. She looked lighter, wearing a blue dress she once said she hated. Our eyes met, and for a moment, I saw a flicker of the girl I used to know. She smiled polite, not lovingly, not regretfully, just politely. And that was it. No apology, no closure. Just a quiet acknowledgement that the galaxy I gave her was too wide for us to find each other again. I went home that night and lay on the couch where she used to fall asleep beside me. Luna curled up next to me, and I realized she was all I had left of what once felt like a lifetime. I whispered, "She's not coming back, is she?" The cat blinked slowly, and somehow that silence was an answer. The next morning, I opened my journal. Every page was filled with things I never said, words I was too afraid to share because I didn't want to push her away. "I miss you. I'm scared. Please stay." I burned the pages one by one in the sink. Watching the smoke rise felt like finally letting go of something that was already gone. I took a trip a month later, back to that same coastal cabin. The same stars were there, but this time, they didn't hurt to look at. I thought about her words. Space. Maybe she really did need it to breathe, to grow, to find herself again. Maybe I needed it too. I realized love isn't always about holding on. Sometimes it's about stepping back far enough to see you were never in orbit together. Just two stars drifting apart at the right speed to call it timing. Now, when I hear the word space, I don't think of distance. I think of peace. Because somewhere between losing her and finding myself again, I learned that sometimes giving someone a galaxy means finally giving yourself a world to heal in.